everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 46. DJI Mavic 3 Classic almost here. Marcus, how are you this evening, my friend?
Not too bad, Bill. Not too bad. It wasn't a good flying day in Idaho today, but I've been flying a lot lately, let me tell you.
Got to get it in because you know what's coming up around the corner. I mean, old man Weir's going to rear his ugly head sooner rather than later.
Get ready to charge batteries on that Skydio too.
Yes, I saw. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. It kind of didn't surprise me that it wasn't a big deal. There's Ron. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm geared up here for the big game. We got a big game in Philly tonight, Bill.
That's right.
It's not rained out.
Not rained out.
Beautiful day here today. It was.
Good.
It was. I was flying drones. It was like a summer day around here, Marcus.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm sure it's cooling down a little bit at the park tonight, but they won't be wearing parkas tonight. They'll just be in hoodies. And Bill, can I give you a little fun fact I just saw recently?
Go for it.
The last game ever at Forbes Field, that was the stadium in Pittsburgh before they built Three Rivers.
Right.
Was in June 28th, 1970.
Correct.
And I think they were playing the Cubs.
Al
Oliver hit the last home run in Forbes Field.
Mm-hmm.
Of all people, Bill Mazeroski made the last out. And Dave Justy, the relief pitcher, he was threw the last pitch there, and Matty Lou got the last two RBIs there.
Well, my cousin went to the game. I didn't go to that game. I went to the very first game at Three Rivers because that happened to be on my birthday. Okay.
Oh wow!
And you know what my cousin did? They went out. A lot of people brought pliers and wrenches and took seats. They went out to the left field wall and chopped some ivy down because that's where Mazeroski hit his home run. So they gave some of it to my dad. So at my aunt's place, which is still there, and my dad's place, which is still there, there's ivy from Forbes Field growing there.
That's cool. And they said that they removed the home plate from Forbes and it took it in a helicopter to Three Rivers.
Yes, they did do that. So, I was there. I was there for that.
And that was unusual in those days that they would change seasons mid-season. But Forbes Field was the second oldest ballpark in use at that time. Only Shibe Park in Philadelphia was older, and the Phillies actually completed the 70 season Shibe and started 71 in the vet. So they were a little bit behind Pittsburgh. But I think Cincinnati did the same thing in 70. I think they moved from whatever they call their old park
was Crosby.
To their new ballpark in mid-season.
Yeah.
So exactly. Okay, sorry folks, we just bored everybody's stuff with this baseball.
Little baseball.
Let's get on the drones here now. Bill, were you at Best Buy today? Were you the guy that picked up that Mavic 3 Classic at Best Buy?
We're gonna start off the show with this because this just blew me away. Okay, this just absolutely blew me away because I saw you had just posted that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
I was hoping it was you, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they got 3 in stock.
And you can take a look. It's the DJI RC is there.
They tried to hide with that sticker, but they didn't do a good enough job, Bill.
Didn't do it, okay? And can
you zoom in and see the price on that sticker?
Actually, it doesn't have the price.
It doesn't have zoom.
Yeah, it doesn't have the price. Wait a minute. It might. No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
But yeah. So, we got, the prices, you guys were talking about it last night, $13.69 for the Mavic 3 only, $14.49 with the RC-N1 controller, and $15.99 with the DJI RC controller, as you see here. So, it's coming around.
Can you live with those prices, Bill? Do you think they're reasonable prices for this product?
Oh my gosh, yeah, those are fantastic prices. I would, if I didn't have a Mavic 3, I would buy one. I would be at Best Buy
tomorrow morning.
I would be at Best Buy knocking on the door tomorrow morning.
So a big question you answered. You answered last night about availability. So this takes care of that. They will be available in big box retailers on day one.
That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing that it looks like it's gonna be out there, and that's kind of a surprise comparing how things were earlier this year, like with the Mini 3. And the availability issues that they had with that. And then now all of a sudden it's like, you know, they're ready to go. They're in stores. You know, you're probably going to get. Here's Johnny. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Johnny's probably got that drone. He's probably the one that went to Best Buy and picked it up.
He's probably the one that took the picture of it this morning too that we saw. So,
hey, I wasn't trying, but not trying.
I'm charging all the batteries, Johnny.
Marcus, we'll get to the story in a second. Marcus must have got his firmware update for the Skydio that brought all those new features.
Charging them all up.
Skydio.
But yeah, Bill, so this is indeed very good news that the Classic will be probably at your local Best Buy tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., wherever you happen to live. Johnny, will you be cruising by the Best Buy tomorrow morning?
You know, I just saw that, and yeah, I don't know. You know, we doing a little show in the morning, and you know, Marcus and I talked a little earlier today. So yeah, I want to, you know, check all the features and specs, and let's see what's up. I know we all excited about when these new drones comes out, but hey, it looks like an awesome buy, and I have no doubt it will be. You know.
And so I did say last night maybe we'll have the Mavic 3 on set tomorrow morning. So maybe that's it.
It's possible. Somebody should have it.
I can assure you, Johnny, that when I show up on your show tomorrow, I will have the Mavic 3 with me.
The Mavic 3.
Well, that's what Ron said. The Mavic 3.
He meant the Classic.
Oh.
Hey, Bill, what do you think of the redesigned gimbal strap for the Classic? Bill, you lost audio. Bill, you don't have audio.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotta say this. Did you guys watch the Batman movie with Christian Bale in it?
Yes, we did.
Okay, the one that was filmed in Pittsburgh.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best. That's a great film.
It's a great film, and I guess was the guy's name Bane was the character. Okay,
Yeah.
that wore that mask. That's what it reminds me. I'm sorry. That's what it reminds me of for some reason. It
You
kind of
got Bane royalties for that.
Yeah. But I think it's better than what they have on the Mavic 3 that we have. Okay, I think that's a better system. I think it hooks better because, you know, they said, and you can take a look on the gimbal. You know,
it looks like it contours to the gimbal now.
Yeah, because it's like when I put it back on there, it's kind of like I'm trying to get the gimbal in place so it'll rest in there. Here, it's firmly in place, and I like that. And I also like where the strap goes on top of it. It looks better because the other one, it's kind of like you got to force it, and you know it's trying to hold it in place, and you know you got to apply a lot of pressure to get it on. I mean, it works. Granted, I'll say that, and I think was one of the better designs, but I think they eclipsed it with this one. I think it's much better.
Did you see the Enterprise drones got just like a kind of a normal kind of plastic slip-on gimbal cover?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the Mavic, at least one of the Mavic 3 Enterprises has your standard like plastic slip-on cover. Hey, moving on real quickly, Bill, that case that we see in the background, is that the same $350 case they sent out with the Flymore kit, or is that just a basic like kind of Mini 2 Air 2S case?
That looks like a basic case, Ron. It really does. I mean, I think from looking at it, it looks like it's kind of like felt covered on the outside of it, and not that vinyl. But again, you know, this is something I've since day one. I really wish they would cut out putting that case. With
100% agree, Bill. Yeah, 100% agree.
You know, Johnny, it would drop the price down. You know, even if they knocked it by $150 or whatever, okay, you know, that's money in our pocket because, you know, we'll go out there, and I know all three of you guys know how to go out there and get a good case, okay? And I've had good luck in the cases that I bought.
I've gotten used to these cases that, you know, in the recent drones that DJI has come out with, and quite frankly, I kind of like them. They're nice and compact. Everything fits in there really good. So it's just a matter of opinion, but I get your point, Bill. You know,
I think it leaving an option for you, maybe to get it. I like the hard case, but hey, and it might not save that much money, but hey, it could be
John, I was going to second what you just said there. Truth be told, I mean, we know because that has a DJI logo, and if they sold that case alone, it'd be a lot of money. But if you bought like a Start RC version of that case or whatever, it would cost $25 or whatever. You mean so?
Well, you know, Marcus
the case really doesn't drive the price up much.
Exactly. Well,
Probably
Marcus
not.
has a great point, and for me, that's an ideal case for driving around locally. Okay, like if I'm going to go to the park, if I'm going to go to the beach or something like that, that'll work. But if I'm doing any kind of traveling, especially on a plane, like when I'm going up to Ohio in December, that's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to need a hard case for something like that.
Hey, I don't want to lose it in the chat here. JSK Enterprise is saying, and I think I saw this earlier. DJI has the DJI RC for $275.
But I'm on their website. I think he said that last night. It's $309 on their website, so I'm not sure where that's at. So I was going to ask Leonard.
I know I saw it someplace too, though, Johnny. So I'm not sure.
And did we talk about the remote controller for the FPV drone was only $199? It was available from DJI.
Oh, that's right. It is now. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't look. I don't know where that is, but
hey, JSK, could you throw a link up? Well, no, he's not blue, but anyway, yeah. I was just going to say.
Well, you could just tell us where this is at DJI's website.
I have it pulled up right now, and it says 309. But I think last night on Drone Nation, I heard him say that, and I heard Maddie kind of say, "Just be careful," because I'm not sure. I don't know. That's kind of odd to have it reduced, but I mean, it could be.
Well, I guess JSK, I made
okay.
you moderator, so you can go ahead and post that link if you want to go ahead and do that. It just seems to me, okay. With all this here, and who's gonna buy this drone, okay? And I think we've kind of talked about that before, but you're gonna here are the potential people that I see purchasing this drone: Mavic 2 owners, okay. I also see Air 2S owners possibly purchasing this, okay. And I also see maybe some who already have the Mavic 3 want to get a classic for some reason. Okay,
if you're a professional and you need a backup or whatever,
exactly. That's a great point, Ron.
Because you could buy just the drone and you wouldn't need the controller or the accessories.
You wouldn't need a controller and can save some money.
One other, if you're an Altel, if you're coming over from an Altel drone, this may be the one that gets you to come over from the others. I hate to say the dark side, the other side.
Well, quadcopters and tech, I agree with you 100%. I think you're going to see a lot more sales of the Mavic 3 Classic than you will from the Mavic 3. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, in 6 months there'll be more units of this out than the Mavic 3 that we have.
I agree. Well, and we've talked about the camera before on the Mavic 3, okay? And I think all of us would agree on that. I know Marcus and I know Ron too. You 100%. That camera it's one of the best drones that we've I can say that, and I think I speak for you guys as well too. One of the best drones you've ever had. Am I right?
It is not one of. It is the best drone I have ever owned.
Marcus Crawford just went on record, and both of you, I agree. And what I think is even a big upgrade is the Hasselblad color science on the Mavic 3 is much improved from the Mavic 2 Pro.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really is.
The color science. No, the drone comes close with the color science on the Mavic 3 from that.
The colors absolutely pop on there, Ron. They really do. They just,
I don't even shoot log on that, Bill. I can't edit better than the Hasselblad color profile does.
That built-in system in there, what they have with those settings. It's like and I was watching your chat last night, and I was pretty actively involved, and somebody put in there, and this was real interesting, about that, and was talking about this with the Mavic 3. And he also said that he doesn't use filters, okay? Because, a lot of people really like to use filters. And in certain situations, and in Florida, it's probably applicable, especially in the summertime. But for me, for the most part, I don't use filters. And I really like the results that way because, I'm not messing with ISO. I'm not messing with, anything, and it's these videos are coming out great.
Yeah. And of course, with a drone with a manual aperture, you can always kind of like make up by make it more wide open, or to the kind of, you don't really need the ND filter as much when you have a manual aperture.
Yeah, and this drone is really going to hit a home run with a lot of people, and you're going to see. Well, you know what? You're going to see a lot of Mavic 2s go for sale on eBay.
eBay's going to get packed this next week.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you're somebody that's new and or not even new, but you're looking for a good drone, hey, the Mavic 2 is still an awesome piece of technology. So
great point,
great price too right now. Last night,
yeah.
didn't y'all say it was like $599 or something?
What's $599?
No, I'm sorry, that was the Air, the Mavic Air.
Yeah. But it was sold out. As soon as we announced that price, it sold out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Ron didn't tell you, Johnny, that Drone Nation gets a kickback from that.
Well, yeah, it's 10% here, 10% there. It's like a real estate.
Johnny got a little bump in his check this week, or
there'll be a check in the mail from DJI.
Geeks Bonner, yeah, I'm laughing at Geeks Bonner. He said he's waiting for the mini. What's he waiting for? The
Mavic 5.
5, yeah.
Sean, I have it already. It's pretty good, but I can't talk about it yet.
That for 2
I
years.
keep it right beside my Phantom 5.
Well, one of the things with all of this, okay, kind of lost in the sauce, and we really haven't discussed it, and I kind of want to get it back in the conversation here a little bit, okay? Because I know last night Lon was real heavy in talking about the Air 3, and I wanted to kind of bring that up while we're talking about the Mavic 3 Classic here, okay? Because I think it deserves some consideration, and if you look at things purely from the standpoint of, if you're saying, well, there's no way with the Mavic 3 Classic, there's no way you're going to have an Air 3. That's not true, okay? And one of the big things is, a price point, all right? Now, DJI and their marketing, all right, they figure out what people are going to buy what kind of drones, okay? That's why, that's all marketing really kind of does in a larger sense of things, all right? And some people are very budget conscious, all right? And Lon was saying last night, probably about $1,100. And there's that $1,000 kind of threshold, okay? Like when you go over it, you're going to get a lot of people kind of balk. Remember how everybody balked when the Mavic 3 came out? It's over $2,000. Oh, how can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Then they really kind of flipped a wig when, you got to get the Fimi to get the DJI RC Pro, and it's so expensive and everything. Just people were just bugging out about it. Okay, but here, within an Air 3, there's room. There's room in the conversation for an Air 3 and an Air 3S. And it's not just the price point; it's also the physical size of the drone. If you look at it, okay. That the Air 2S is probably, I'm going to say, at least a good 4 inches shorter than like a Mavic 3. I'm just spitballing here with something like that. Okay, so it's going to be a little more.
We can look.
Go for it.
Yeah. We can kind of compare.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be shorter.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. I mean, personally, I just don't think there'll be an Air. I don't know. I kind of thought about it. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I just kind of think, from a pricing standpoint, number one, from a size standpoint, number two, and
what would be the big? I mean, what would it have to have or not? I mean, where would it fit in the lineup? Of
okay,
course,
it's not gonna. You don't want it to eclipse the Mavic 3 Classic. Okay,
right.
So it's gonna be under that. It'll probably have a better sensor than the Air 2S.
Yeah.
If you put a better sensor in there,
vertical video, of course,
video, because I know, Geeksvana, Sean, he's pointed that out. Lon's pointed that out too. This vertical video is really caught on. Especially the Mini 3 Pro.
Right.
I put that video out about on my channel about vertical video with it.
And it's making a baby.
Boom. Yeah.
He's making the Air 3, Johnny.
Trying to do that comparison that Bill is.
Bill, how many inches would you say, Marcus?
It's weird. So let's see. Let me superimpose them like this. It's not.
It's not that much. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
it
about
is.
maybe
But
couple
Bill,
inches.
I would have said the same thing you did. Not, but when you look at them physically, although let's look at it this way. There's a let me get it in the frame here. There is a difference in length. No question.
Yeah, there's a difference in length. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, I don't know if the length is important as the weight. I wonder how much lighter the Air 2S is than the Mavic 3.
Good
Because
point.
when you're carrying something about, say, like you just talked about before, whether you're using a hard case or a soft case, when you're carrying something in a bag, at that point you don't even know how big it is, but you can feel the weight of what's in the bag. So the weight is more important than the actual length, in my book.
That's true. I think so as well too. And I think too, like with an Air 3, one of the things, battery technology is changing before our eyes right now. Okay. Who would have thought we could have gotten 45 minutes or, on book, 45 minutes out of a battery from a drone, or even a DJI drone, because I know we had Rick on, it was probably a year or so ago, and he was talking about the battery technology and he said it's just not there yet. But I think they've hit a point where it's there, and we're seeing this. We're seeing that jump in the batteries. Okay.
So Bill, is it batteries or is it the circuitry and engineering in the drone, right? Or a little bit of both, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that's what Rick would tell you. I think you would find that they've probably gotten better at the circuitry and the chip and the electronics in there. Because he said, and I'm Rick, forgive me for paraphrasing you. He said there's only so much you can do given in that confined space of that battery with the plates and and how the battery works chemically. Okay. Yeah. There's only so much you can do inside there. Okay. But he said, unless the technology, gets further along. Well, apparently, it's gotten to the point it's gotten further along, because now we see, on book 45 minutes out of that battery. And,
and Bill, you have to take into consideration, you think the Air 2S is only like a year and a half old at this point, but it has the same battery as the Air 2. So it's got almost 3-year-old battery technology in it at this point.
Well, and it's a smaller battery. But to your point, best drone I've ever owned right here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Second best drone I've ever owned right here.
Absolutely.
Hey, Marcus, can you address John K's comment in chat, and I'll read it to you so Bill doesn't have to go for it. It's like 10 things back. He said, what is the noise difference between the Air 2S and the Mavic 3?
There is a difference, and neither one of them are terribly loud. That it's not like the Air 2S is loud, but the Mavic 3 is that much quieter, and I don't know how they manage that.
Yeah. You get out to the field with the Air 2S, the Mavic 3, and the Mini 3, and the Mini 3 is the quietest, but the Mavic 3 is second quietest. The Air 2S is the noisiest one of the bunch, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Ron, because I hadn't flown the Air 2S in a while. Then, of course, when it got compatible with the RC, man, when you put that thing up compared to the Mini, it is pretty loud, really.
But you get the payoff in it much faster.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's much faster though, Johnny, too.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer is making a good point there. He's saying that you remember when they had dual IMUs and so forth, and they're going with, he's saying single chip technology. So I guess that gets back to power management, right? So
yeah.
Well, and I'm sure, and Johnny, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I know Ron and Marcus do. The original Mavic Air, when it came out, it was like a hornet's nest. Okay, that thing was just like you were a mile away. You could hear that drone coming. I mean, there was just no doubt about that. All right, and that's where that prop company got their start.
That Baxter air screws. So Bill, it reminds me. Yesterday, I was flying the Hubsan Ace Pro, which is kind of a look-alike of the original Mavic Air.
Mm-hmm.
My God, that thing's loud. When you're used to flying drones like this, you're like, man, I got to get it away from me.
Well, it's like, okay, the last time I flew the Mavic 3, I'm waiting for it. I mean, I see it, but it's like, I don't hear it. What's wrong? That's what I said to myself. I mean, I don't hear it. I see it. What's going on? And it's there. And I know you guys have probably had the same thing as well, flying it.
I was flying with Tanya the other day, and we were out on the Boise River, and she was probably 20 yards away from me with her Air 2, not the Air 2S. She had an Air 2, And I couldn't hear it. I could see the drone, but I couldn't hear it.
Some bees there, huh?
You hear those bees?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be. It's always exciting, okay. But combined with we just hit November, all right, and that means we're probably a couple of weeks away from Black Friday. I mean, maybe 3. I don't know. All right, so.
Got some Black Friday deals already though out there.
Oh, I did see some today.
Yeah.
I was.
So we're gonna get to that story in a few minutes because Skydio's already on Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
How do you wear this? No.
What's that? Oh,
I was just gonna say, how do you wear this thing?
Well, but no. Okay. What I wanted to say is, as far as like we're still waiting on supposedly an Inspire 3. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you don't. It kind of bridges. It's definitely not a consumer type drone, but they've been talking about an Inspire 3 ever since 2017. Because I went back and I looked through my series of videos, and there's been a lot, scuttlebutt about it for 5 years. I mean, it's been talked about for a long time. So, we're hearing things, it's going to be sometime in November. So that's going to be coming. Now, what about a Pocket 3? Okay. Before the, Black Friday hits.
Yeah. Because that's got to come out by Black Friday because it would be a holiday gift type item.
Exactly. So, DJI's done yet. Okay. This year, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you remembered a year? Okay. I mean, nope. And also too, DJI's come out with a couple of gimbals this year as well too.
Yeah.
So
a wireless mic.
Yep.
And the Avata as well. I mean, it's been a crazy release year for them. It really has.
Yeah.
Yep. It has. And you forgot the name drop, maybe even the Mini 3 SE.
Mini 3 SE as well too. Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, that would sell. You think the original Mini SE sold well? That Mini 3 SE,
and stock it on the shelves for Black Friday, Bill.
Yeah,
put the sale price up.
It would literally fly itself off the shelf.
Put them in Costco, right?
Yeah. Costco. Yeah. On the end cap market.
Yeah.
It'll fly itself off the shelf. Well, tomorrow morning, you guys doing a show tomorrow?
We will for even though Best Buy kind of stole our thunder here, we're going to have to make up for last week's. We had to eat crow last week, Bill.
For the Eating Crow show.
Well, listen, we talked about that yesterday, Ron, and Susan prepared that crow. It was phenomenal. It was really good.
And we had a nice white wine with it also, Bill.
Yeah, well, hey, you have a good Chianti with it. You're all set. Yeah. Everything's fine with that. But no, everybody. Guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. I'm working, but I'm going to be watching you guys while I'm working tomorrow morning. So that it's always fun. It's always good. So, don't think because you know everything, that you know everything. Okay.
And we'll be on a few minutes before 9 because Marcus and I found in the past, usually anywhere from 10 minutes or so, you can order it earlier before 9 o'clock normally.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, 2 questions. Number 1, will Johnny be up that early? And number 2, is he going to be on with us?
Johnny will be in the Best Buy parking lot waiting for the manager to open the door up.
I'll definitely be up. And
he'll be mobile at that time. Okay. He's got have phone will travel.
He'll be bringing the Best Buy manager coffee so he can get in the store early. Coffee.
Hey, one thing about Best Buy, if you get it there, hey, you can possibly bring it back or something. But no, hey, that drone will be fine. And I think it'll be something that in there that we didn't expect, like always. And something that we maybe is pretty simple, but we didn't think of, whether it be
it may have Master Shots 2 on it.
What's that, Ron?
It may have Master Shots 2 on it.
Might have, yeah.
Yeah. See, at this point, physically, hardware wise, I don't think there'll be any surprises. The surprises will be in the software. Okay. And, it'll be like maybe a Master Shots 2 or, something along those lines, something we didn't hear anything about because we're so focused on hardware, the drone, the controller, that type of thing. We really haven't looked into or heard much about the software. But
so are we gonna get an update here in a few minutes? So
yeah, but we were talking about that last night, Bill. That somewhere probably over the middle of the night we'll see some updates from DJI that make everything compatible with the new drone. Like
on the Fly app.
Both this Mark, the DJI RC and the RC Pro will both have to be have an update come through to make them compatible with the new drone.
Mm-hmm. So there's going to be lots of.
So keep your devices handy for.
Keep your powder dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning a little before 9 on Drone Nation. It'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to watching it and being in the chat, while I'm working from home. It's always fun. Just because you think you know everything, you don't really know everything. You don't know it all. So make sure you tune in because, these guys will be on top of it tomorrow morning. So don't even blink.
And Lon dropped another nugget in the chat. He said the standard Mavic 3 will get an update tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a busy morning, Bill.
Oh, so that's a good point. I didn't think about that, guys. We need to think about this. If they're coming out with features for the Classic, are they going to give us some new features on the Mavic 3?
Maybe not.
That's what
Stay tuned tomorrow morning and you will find out.
Lon is the guy that would know.
Yeah.
Hey,
listen, Bill, Bryce Harper just hit a 2-run homer. If things are heating up in the game already, I'm going to make an early exit and go get my seat at the game here. I'm actually broadcasting right outside, Citizens Bank Park. I'm going to go in and I'm sitting right behind.
Grab your bottle
of
Mexican Coke, Ron, and enjoy the game. Go Phillies. Have fun.
And if there's any of that leftover crow that Susan made, just that's
I think I got a little stand set up. I'm gonna sell between innings or whatever.
We serve it tomorrow night, before the 5 whatever. So we'll eat the rest of it.
And I'll have $5 cold beers also, at the stand. So, all right, have a great show, everybody. I'm gonna miss the Skydio talk, but. Can I give a spoiler alert, Bill? The Skydio talk wasn't exciting as we hoped it would be.
We're going to be.
Yeah, you wait till you see my video, Ron. Then you'll feel playing a different tune.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Ron.
Good night, Ron.
Well, Ron has a good time with them Phillies.
That about the Mavic standard Mavic 3 getting an update as well too. That's good news because it's all around. It's it's kind of like it's kind of like Christmas in November, so to speak. There's just a lot happening tomorrow. So, pay attention, watch these guys tomorrow morning because they'll be on top of it. Make sure I'm going to be watching tomorrow morning and I'm going to head out there and look at the websites ahead of time as well too. It'll be fun. It's always good. So we'll see what's going on tomorrow. And I hate to kind of switch gears here, but I do want to talk about this. And, I think because, everybody, was talking about Skydio and, and I know you guys talked about it last night, Marcus, on the show. And we were kind of like thinking, are they coming out with something? Because it looked like a teaser. Well, it looks like what they're coming out with is a firmware update here.
Right.
Live view of panoramas, for shooting panoramas, you can choose from vertical, horizontal, or spherical shot and see a low resolution live preview of the framing using the onboard navigation cameras. Keyframe updates. Skydio is now giving drone pilots the ability to adjust the gimbal roll angle and keyframes. The company calls it the biggest Skydio keyframe improvement to date. Read more about the keyframe here. Low battery auto return. Skydio is also adding a low battery auto return toggle to the return to home settings menu. When enabled, the drone will return home automatically once the battery becomes low. I got to say something about that, guys. Okay. I mean, how long have, you guys have had DJI drones like me forever. Okay. And it's been on, I think that was on the Spark. That was on the Mavic Pro.
Yeah, okay? Bill, it's always had, that's kind of odd because I'm telling you, I'm quite sure it's always had that.
I was going to say, they wouldn't leave something like that out, Mark.
No.
Especially on that drone, it wouldn't seem like.
Yeah, I did a whole video about it, a return to home video. So that's odd. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And and I know they made a really big hubbub about a lot of drama, a lot of things, and then it was this. And then they have apparently a bundle with a sale price on it, something or other on the 2 Plus. I mean,
Yeah, Yeah, they got 200. So Marcus, at $899 is that a reason to buy that drone, or
well, it's a pretty good buy. Well, it depends on what you want to do, Johnny.
Right.
If you this keyframe thing, don't underestimate it. It's pretty damn cool. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's like Waypoints on steroids. And now that you can change that camera angle, hey, I want to go play with it and see what can be done.
I think for the people who do that kind of flying, like, Sean Oz, he loves that thing, and for myself, it wouldn't be, but I know for the people who do that, it could be good.
It's for people that are tracking that it's the drone to own, period. Right. Well, I mean, the Mavic 3 is damn good. I mean, it's close, but I'm telling you, if what you're doing is you ride a dirt bike or a mountain bike or something, and you're wanting to track yourself with it, absolutely, the Skydio is unparalleled in that regard. And mind you, it's a 3-year-old drone, so it holds up quite well. But like Ron and I were discussing yesterday, and Bill, you know this as well, the camera technology is 3 years old. So while that camera looked really good 3 years ago when it came out, and it still looks good, but it doesn't compare with, what we're seeing on the newer drones.
Yeah. And that's where, and I got to say this, Marcus, they have been making some incremental improvements to Skydio. Okay. And I give them some credit for that. But they're still, they still need to crank it up just a notch, because everybody, I dropped out from buying it at the last minute. I had my deposit in and my number was getting called and I said no. And, I think for me, I think that was the right decision at the time. $899, it's kind of tempting, for me personally right now. I'm not in a position to do that because of my upcoming dental expenditures, which will be quite considerable. And that's why I'm playing Powerball tomorrow, because the jackpot's at $1 billion.
$1 billion too.
Yeah. Okay. It's nice that they're doing this, but they need to crank it up a notch. They need to come out with a Skydio 3. All right. And the things that need to get improved, they need to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Bill, so can I expand on that just a little bit?
Go for it. Yeah, please.
So what we already talked about was camera. If they could catch that camera up with what we see now, hell, in some way, well, in fact, I would even say the Mini 3 camera is probably better than honest. I mean, and it's just, because time has gone by. That is one thing. But again, this flipping controller that, I used to, whoops, sorry, all my stuff's falling down here, but I'm recharging it. It just is not what we're used to with DJI drones. And it's not just that you don't have the range, although that's a big deal. You don't have the precision control that we're used to with our DJI drones. And for people like us, we want to do both. We want to do that tracking. We want to do the obstacle avoidance, but we also want to fly our drones and position it where we want. It's not that. And if they could give us that, that would be a big deal.
Yeah. So they're a little late to the game now, or could they, is there room?
Oh, there's room. Heck yeah.
Plenty of room.
It's a high quality product. So I'm glad you said that, Johnny. So when I think about the drone manufacturers that are out there now, really, there's only 3 companies that make what I would call a high quality product. Now that Parrot is not in the game anymore, that's DJI by far number 1, and Skydio, and Autel. And Autel is kind of on the edge of that, right? They have their little issues here and there, but this Skydio, it's perfect. I mean, there's no issues with it. Just like when you get a DJI drone, there might be a little software thing here or there, but this Skydio, man, I've been flying the heck out of this thing for 3 years. It's still a solid piece.
Yeah, and 3 years is, I don't say old, but yeah, and I know they made a big update about a year ago and brought a lot of new features to it too.
Yeah.
Well, and I see the kind of videos that Johnny shoots. Okay, and he always does just fantastic stuff, and I love watching your videos, Johnny. And for somebody like you and like me, because I know, I don't have the Skydio. I'm so used to that precision flying. Okay, And I think, and you know what tipped me over the edge was, I think I messaged Dobo, and he and I, because he had extensive tests with it and everything. And he said, Bill, he said, you're not going to like this drone because exactly the reason that Mark was talking about, it doesn't have that precision ability, to fly. And he kind of hit the nail on the head. That's what tipped me over from not getting it.
But here's what the other thing, though, the flip side of that coin is every time I fly that drone, I just have a blast with it, because you don't worry about it hitting anything. You can fly straight at a building, a tree, whatever, and it's gonna miss it. And you can fly through those tight little spots, and it's gonna go around it. And then the tracking is just insane. Johnny, you've got an electric bike. I've got an e-bike.
Yeah.
I've had this guy tracking me on the e-bike using the little controller here that it locks in on GPS on this guy. And man, watching that day, you'll see that drone. Johnny, I mowed my lawn one day with this thing attached to my lawnmower, and that drone was all over the place, but it's not going to hit anything.
All right, Marcus, you talked me into it. The V-copter for the Skydio.
Yeah, no thanks.
Man,
Johnny tried.
That's a good deal.
Now, Lon says his hit a building. Lon, I don't know what you were doing. What, playing chicken again? I don't know.
Well, there's room for improvement here. Okay. And I think we know that. One of the things that we were kind of hoping for is maybe we were going to see an upgrade here, hardware wise, but be that as it may, it's still improvement, and it's still heading in the right direction.
Look, Marcus, look.
There it is.
So much better than that drone.
Yeah,
I haven't even unfolded it yet.
Tell you what, Johnny, give me just a second here, Bill. Can you give me a little latitude here?
I'll sure go for it.
Mr. Johnny, I have a drone I will trade you straight across from
Oh, here we go.
It's
JJRC.
No. This is much better than that. I asked Lon about it. I sent one to Lon. The Hubsan Xeno Mini Pro, Johnny.
What was the first word you said in that sentence?
Is that
Hubsan? Is that what you said?
But is that V-Copter a Pro, Johnny?
This is a V-Copter SE and a Pro. It's a mini. It's actually a mini drone. You're just looking at the bigger version.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done messing with Johnny, Bill.
Well, okay. One of the other things that I mean, and this is kind of in conjunction here, and this article came out last week, but I still wanted to go ahead and talk about this. Was let me go ahead and share the screen here. DJI Fly app update brings new features for Air 2S Mini 3 Pro. I mean, they did come out with this camera view, flight tutorial, new editor, fly spots. There are updates for the Air 2S users. And it talked about, also, and I know somebody mentioned this last night on the show, Marcus, was they were talking about, locking in remote ID. And I think one of you guys made the point, it's coming whether you like it or not. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be part of life, and you just gotta deal with it. Okay. It's one of those things. Okay?
Yeah, either that or quit flying drones, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. So it's in the app. It's in the app. That's what it is.
It said here, Playa V1.7.8 has support for automatically adjusting shutter speed and ISO. The camera AE is set to Pro for DJI Mini 3 Pro drone. You should now be able to adjust style parameters, including sharpness and noise reduction. DJI further says the status support for enhanced transmission on the sub 250 gram Mini 3 Pro. Update the aircraft firmware the latest version to use these features. Once you do, the drone will start broadcasting its identification location according to FAA's remote ID rules. Okay, so that's part of life. I'm not concerned about that. Okay, I like seeing what they've added onto it. Okay, and that's a pretty significant feature in terms of the camera and the capabilities of that. I mean, it's like, for me, Okay, and I go back to thinking my first DJI, well, my second DJI drone was the original Mavic Pro. All right, and I go back to the camera that was on that, and I look at the camera that's on the Mini 3 Pro camera is worlds ahead of the original cam I had on the original Mavic Pro. Okay, it's just the technology is just incredible. What's on this drone. Okay, and I think we're all excited about the Classic, which we should be. But this Mini 3 Pro, okay, that is beyond a doubt the best mini drone on the market today. There's
absolutely
close. Nobody's even close with that. Okay, and I know you guys agree with me on this.
And me and Johnny are both Autel Nano owners too, and we'll both tell you the same thing.
Well, and it's rightly so. And people, people get all people, and I know when the Mini 3 Pro came out, okay, there was a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth, not only over availability, but also pricing. Okay. And people were like, and you know what I try to tell people, guys, and I know I've heard you guys talk about it as well too. Okay. One of the things they taught us in, one of my majors was business, was value for the dollar for the product that you're getting. Okay, and I know you guys are in agreement with me. You get a lot of bang for your buck with these drones. Okay,
you do.
I mean, bar none. I mean, look at the battery life on the Mavic on the Mini 3 Pro. Oh my gosh, it's just like, who would have ever thought? It's like I go out there. I'll be honest with you guys. All right, I go out there. I'll be out there 30 minutes plus flying that drone. And there's still like at least 10, 15 to almost 20% left after that, when I'm coming back, and I could probably, stay out there that long, but I'm just coming back. I'm like, what, it's like, I don't go through my batteries on it because I get everything that I need in one battery, Yeah.
I totally agree. I was out at the Snake River with the Mavic 3 the other day, and the battery life on it. In fact, it was a flight that I could not complete with the Air 2S because of battery life. But the Mavic 3, not only did I complete the flight that I wanted to do, I messed around. I chased a jet boat down the river. I did a bunch of other stuff with it, and still had battery to spare.
Yeah. Well, hey, Bill, Marcus and I had a conversation on the phone today, kind of what you was talking about. You're not going to see any more cheap drones, or really, especially for what's in them now. And then, you remember when these phones were free. And then they started easing them up, and things are higher, and the technology is what you do. Like, I was flying this afternoon, and you talk about the battery. It's like, man, I almost got tired of flying. I got to bring this drone down. I was just doing a little sunset and flying around, and I'm zipping all over. But yeah, the technology is really is at a high level now, and it's just fun to fly. I know we always want to keep up with this latest stuff, but hey, get out there and fly what you got to and have fun. Me and Mark was talking about that today on the phone.
Yeah, I want to make a point about, and some of my European friends were telling me that, you know what, they don't need the Mavic 3 because they can get the Mini 3 Pro, and it has all the same features and so forth. It is not the same thing. I'm just telling you, you got to fly one to know that Mavic 3, not only is the camera better, you got zoom and all that stuff, but just the capabilities of that drone are so far beyond what that Mini 3 can do. And the Mini 3 is a great drone. I'm not knocking it at all. I love my Mini 3. However, that Mavic 3, if you're sitting on the fence and you want the best prosumer drone out there, you won't regret it. The speed and precision of that drone is just phenomenal. You can place it wherever you want. The other thing is, in conjunction, and Bill, this with the RC Pro, the range that you have, you just don't have. Mm-hmm. It's never. Yeah, it's never out of range. You always have that beautiful FPV feed. You can see what you're doing. It's the precision of it, and that's a hard thing to explain to people. It's how easy you can place that drone exactly where you want it to be and get the exact shot that you want.
That's an excellent point, Marcus.
Yeah, unbelievably well.
That is an
Marcus, I know
excellent
you
point.
got the RC Pro, and you said, yeah, it was, you kind of not waited, but you bought it late. Not, but so we were talking today.
I regret not buying it right off the bat. Yeah.
And that's what I said. Maybe if you skip a drone purchase and get that wouldn't be a bad move also,
It's a pretty, let me tell you, with your Air, that would breathe new life into your Air 2S, Johnny. It would.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to say this, when I got the RC Pro, I was just, I was on the fence. I was like Marcus, I was on the fence, and then I pulled the trigger, and it was like, it was one of those things. I don't look back now for a second. It was a great decision buying that. I mean, that thing is so much better than the original smart controller. It runs circles around it, in my opinion.
I'm glad you brought that up, Bill, because people need to understand that if you had the original smart controller, don't compare the two. Remember how the touch screen was kind of glitchy sometimes and so forth? There's none of that on this RC Pro. And those what do they call them? The Hall effect sticks on it were, like I said, I'm sure that's part of the precision part of it. And that big bright screen, man, oh man, four antenna on that thing.
Antenna on there too, because with the original smart controller, God forbid if you didn't have that antenna pointed in the right direction, okay, you were going to lose range in a hurry with that, okay. And there's no worry about it with this, okay. It does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point about the control sticks, okay, because I remember on the original one, and I went back. I was reviewing a lot of my old videos, and I went back. I did the beta testing with the original smart controller when they made it compatible with the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. Okay, and I was fairly impressed with the precision. Okay, but it wasn't like the Phantom 4 controller. All right, the big bulky controller. It wasn't as precise with that. But one of the things that I found with the DJI RC Pro, that it's better than the RCN1. That's what it's called, the stock controller. I think it's way better than that. It's extremely precise. Okay, there's no latency, there's no lag with that. And I don't know if latency is the term, but as far as the input from the sticks to the drone, it happens just like that. Okay, and it's precise, and I really think that's critical. And again, we talk about the price of these. All right, we talk about how much these are. Okay, and the DJI RC Pro is a good pill to swallow, pretty big pill to swallow. But I tell you what, again, you're getting bang for your buck.
Boy, you are. And Bill, one of the reasons that I was a little bit tentative on the RC Pro is I had the smart controller before that. And I just remember struggling with that wonky screen on there, the touch screen and so forth. And so that's kind of what made me a little bit tentative about buying the RC Pro, but I wish I had just jumped on board with that initially. The other thing that I want to mention about the Mavic 3 is, so when you talk about the speed and power of the drone, it's not just the speed that it'll go forward or backward or bank or whatever. It's the ascent speed, and on the Mavic 3, the descent speed. That thing will drop like a frickin' rock. You pull that stick down and it's coming down.
That's one thing. And I know, Johnny, you got to experience that, okay? Because I know one of the things, and I was doing, and one of the videos I always shoot after I get a new drone was I always do a high altitude, what I call high altitude, 400 feet one, because one of the things that I try to do with those videos is to show people, okay, when you're up at 400 feet, okay, you don't get the same view that you get from 200 or 100 feet, all right? And that's the reason I do those videos. But getting up to 400 feet, it was up there like that. And then when it came down, like Marcus said, I mean, it was like a rock. It just flew.
It just dropped.
When Air 2S had a pretty decent, I think it was 14 mile, it was coming down pretty quick. So it's quicker than that, they say. So yeah.
It's pretty fast with that, So go ahead.
Well, the other point is that, and I can't remember what they call the feature. Lon will know what it is. It's their intelligent return to home, where you set a return to home height, but it only
return to home.
Yeah, it starts descending before you before it gets over the top of you. But because of the obstacle avoidance, if there's a tree or something, it'll go around where it sees it, won't even go down that far.
That's pretty cool.
There's guys, I've seen guys, I haven't done it myself, but I've seen YouTube videos where guys try and do a return to home amongst a bunch of trees and stuff like that. And the drone literally flies between the trees and plops down on the landing pad. It's the darndest thing you've ever seen. And I talked about this the other day on Drone Nation, but I was down in the canyon. I was negative 115 meters into the canyon. I hit return to home. I think I had return to home altitude set at 30 meters. And I'm watching that drone come back, climb up out of the canyon. And I'm looking at that FPV feed, and I'm just seeing that canyon wall get bigger and bigger and bigger on the screen. And boy, at the last minute, I don't know how high it was over the wall, but boom, I look up and that drone is just coming up over the wall, and it plopped down right in the middle of the pad.
Jeez. Technology is really crazy, man. And, Marcus, we talked a little bit about it. Man, it's so much fun to fly these birds. And, just in a couple of years that, I've been more than a couple of years now. But, man, hey, it makes a bad day so much better if you get out there and fly for 5 minutes. And
it really does. One of the couple things before we end up closing up, okay? We're coming to the end of 2022. I'm going to have some giveaways in December, so stay tuned for that. And if any of you guys out there, I have extra pens and some stickers. If you want them, email me at buildadronereviewer@gmail.com, and I will get you some, okay? But you got to email me your address. And guys, only United States. I'm sorry, at this point. But Mr. Stephen Ewing, I've got something lined up for you. Yeah, Johnny has his. I got something lined up for you, so don't worry. I'm going to get you taken care of because you're one of the good guys. So I will make sure to get you taken care of there. Also too, coming up as well too, I wanted to kind of make a little bit of an announcement. One of the things I'm going to be doing, and I took some time and I went through, because I'm on the knocking on the door. I'm within about 20, 30 videos of 1,000 videos out on YouTube. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is on a weekly basis, I'm going to be looking at some of my, what I'll call my, classic rewind videos. Okay. Some of the ones that have been very popular and really people talked about a lot, and gotten some views. What I'm going to do is I'm going to freshen those up and put a new intro, a new outro with that, and add some additional commentary onto things because, a lot of times, when you go back and you look upon some of these things, you see some things that you haven't seen before, like the first time around. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be calling these Build a Drone Reviewer Classics or BTDR Classics. So, and I'm getting a logo done up for that as well too. So I'm going to have some fun with that because I think I went back, and this was so funny. Okay. My first Rotor Talk Live was originally called Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live. Okay. And my very first guest was Sally French. All right. My bronchitis was so bad I could hardly talk that night. All right. And 38 minutes was the show. All right. And she was a trooper for being on there. She really was.
I'm laughing at Lon.
Johnny and I are just laughing at Lon. That's all.
Oh, I see that.
Lon.
We love you. Okay. And also too, one of the other things I wanted to mention, okay, 2023 is coming around, okay? And April's going to be here before you know it, okay? So, and don't forget, guys, make your reservations for the South Florida Drone Meetup. I have to tell you this. If you've never been to a drone meetup before, okay, come to this one, all right? I can't tell you, okay, how good it was. I got to meet Johnny. I got to meet Ray. I got to meet Marcus. Hadn't met those guys before, okay? And a lot of the guys out there. Mark Fisher. Mark is a hoot. I mean, these guys are just, it's like everything, everything you could possibly think about going right went right during these meets. And I know Marcus had we had a regrettable incident with the Nano, but other than that, I mean, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And the biggest thing was not the flying, but being able to talk and sit down and share with everybody. It was so good to do that. And guys, do yourself a favor. If you can bookmark it, it's coming up, April's I'm going to say 5 months away, but it's coming up around the corner. Make your reservations, take time out of your day. Valerie has even talked about it. Okay. Because, when she gets excited about something, okay, that's a double, that's a bonus in my book. All right. So, I mean, she loved meeting, she loved meeting everybody as well too. We had so much fun. So guys, make sure you bookmark it, get it down there. Also, okay, if you can donate something to Captain Ray, okay, message him, let him know. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to look to see what I have that I can donate to Captain Ray. Because I want to make sure, that a lot of people walk home with stuff. Okay. I just think it's so cool to be able to do that. So I had to put my shameless plug in for you, Ray, but you deserve it because you're one of the good guys out here. You do a lot of hard work. And I know you and Johnny worked your tail off to make last year's a success. And I know this one will be as well. So again, guys, do what you can to get out there. Lon, we'd love to see you down there. Okay. I think that would be awesome if you can make it down there. I mean, it was just like, I got to meet so many guys that I hadn't thought before. It was just, I got to meet Art. Okay. It was so cool meeting Art. What's his name? Ron from North Dakota.
Ron Lockwood.
Ron Lockwood. Got to meet Ron. Greg Pittman, got to meet Greg Pittman. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so many people out there. It was so good. So again, I'm putting in a shameless plug, but it's well deserved. Marcus, any closing thoughts?
Well, we got some decent weather. Get out there and fly, folks. Fly what you got. Look for that Mavic 3 Classic tomorrow. If you're looking for a new drone, that Mavic 3 is something else. If you didn't get how enthusiastic I am about it, yeah.
Johnny, any thoughts?
Yeah, just want to thank you, Bill, for having me tonight, of course. And join us in the morning. Might get to see me hit that buy button, but yeah, get out there and fly. And, it's been an incredible year for technology in the past. I mean, it's crazy. You got new phones, you got new iPads, you got new drones. Man, there's just a lot to spend your money on. So, hey, do your homework, do your research, and hey, get out there and have fun. And the Fly for Fun show tomorrow night, actually, Ron, Marcus, and DeMarco. So, yeah, we'll kind of be on in the morning and be on in the afternoon. So, yeah. Well, maybe have a surprise guest tomorrow night. So,
that ought to be fun. You guys need to tune in to Johnny and Ray's show tomorrow night. That's going to be good. Good stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Quadcopters and Tech. Drop me your address in an email to BillTheDroneReviewer@gmail.com, and I'll get you hooked up. Okay. I'll drop you something for sure. Okay. And like Marcus said, weather's starting to turn. Make sure you get out there and enjoy it. Okay. And you guys, if you get a chance to, make sure you tune in to Drone Nation tomorrow morning. A little bit before 9. I'm going to as well. Sit back, kick back. I'll be sipping on my morning caffeine and enjoying the show. So make sure you guys tune in to watch that. It's always an exciting time whenever there's a drone release. And I want to thank our very special guest tonight, co-host. He's not really even a guest anymore. He's part of this show as well too, Johnny. We really appreciate your stopping by tonight, Johnny.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate value your input, and you're one of the. Everybody's a good guy out here. And that's one of the things about the drone community. It's just absolutely fantastic. So anyways, going to button things up for tonight. Want to thank everybody. And again, as always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.